So as business owners, oftentimes we end up needing work done by somebody outside of our organization. And it doesn't make sense to bring in an employee all the time to do things. So today I want you just to give us some insight as we look at subcontractors, freelancers, employees. Just help us understand a little bit about how they're treated the same, how they're treated differently. Just give us some insight there.
Okay, so they are very different, treated very differently. First of all, if I have an employee, right, they come onto my payroll, I register them that way. I have unemployment insurance I need to pay for that person. I need to do withholdings. Yeah. I have reports that need to go to the IRS, my 940s, my 941s. It's a whole structure around having an employee. If that employee doesn't work out, for example, unfortunately, sometimes that does happen, and they are no longer with the company, then they look at unemployment insurance and how does that affect my business. It costs me money to have employees. I'm paying for part of the Social Security tax. I don't know if people realize that. But when you look at your W-2, for example, you'll see Social Security withholdings. Yep. That's actually only half of the amount that's owed. Your employer picks up the other half. Yep. So it actually is costing me about 7.5% more just to employ you. Yep. Conversely, if I have a freelancer, we're just working out an arrangement of what it will cost me. So it could be an hourly rate, it could be a job rate, and I'm only paying that person what is agreed upon. I don't have to deal with any withholdings. I don't have to deal with unemployment insurance. I don't have to deal with workers' comp insurance, right? I don't have to deal with the state issues. I'm just paying a person for work and services provided. I'm saving that 7.5%. So sometimes it's a kind of a tightrope walk because some people will say, hey, I want to be employed because I don't want to have to pay as much in self-employment taxes. Where the company may be saying, hey, I really want to employ you as a subcontractor because I want to save the 7.5%. If you were looking at the two and had the possibility of the two, me as a tax person, I'm always going to push you towards the subcontractor side, even if that's what I am, the subcontractor. Why? Because that means I'm in business for myself now, and the entire tax code is opened up to me for deductions and how I can reduce my income, where I will actually save money in that instance.
So let me make sure I heard you right here. Okay, and I get that there are a lot of different circumstances, and we're kind of talking big picture here.
Big picture.
But big picture, if I'm paying a subcontractor versus an employee, I'm going to pay less, that's 7.5% less.
Correct.
And as a business owner, I'm going to pick up some savings.
Correct.
Right? Conversely, if I'm the subcontractor, now truly I am in business for myself.
Correct.
And if I plan, schedule, and do things right, I've got some massive openings into the tax code that I didn't have before.
Correct.
Right? So
That's
far?
exactly right. So when people say, hey, Joel, I want to save money on my taxes. I say, okay, are you in business for yourself? No, I just work for someone else. Well, I go, well, my hands are kind of tied in that scenario. If you want to save money in taxes, go into business.
Absolutely.
Do something for yourself to open up the tax code where now I can take certain things that you may have paid for anyway, and I can push them against your income and reduce what you owe.
So now just talk to us so we make sure that we understand this right. I'm going to save that 7.5% I pay, but now I'm a business owner and I'm paying taxes at the end of the year. I'm figuring out what I owe, my quarterlies, whatever it is. I've paid wages. I've paid those expenses on this side. I've also paid an expense to a subcontractor. I've paid that bill. Am I able to take both of those off of my income and reduce the tax liability? How does that work there?
So you are able to take both. Both of those become an expense. So much like an employee where you have filings with the IRS, right, like your 940 or 941s for wages paid, there are also reports that you need to do for your subcontractors. So if you have a subcontractor that you paid more than $600, you have a 1099 that you need to file. Okay, so that takes care of kind of the insurance and the documentation to support the expense that you made is that 1099 filing. So we do have to file those for our subcontractors, but both become a deduction, yes.
And I've got to do that. That's not something I can just write down as an expense and pretend it's not there, right?
You have to do it.
So I think a lot of us in business, certainly there is a place for employees. I don't think we're saying that everybody should be a subcontractor or a freelancer, but there are some real benefits that you can look at and weigh out and sit down and plan your business with an expert to figure out what's the right move to do to, again, at the end of the day, not only keep as many dollars in your pocket as possible, but also potentially open up the door for some of those people you're doing business with to save money on their taxes as well. We know how important it is for you to keep your business running smoothly. Here at Tax Hive, we can help with all of your tax and business service needs so you can focus in on what it is that you do best. Our entire team of experts is standing by, ready to help out. Schedule a strategy session with one of our experts today.